One of the common thought experiments is to give advice to your younger self. What would I tell myself? First of all, this episode feels extremely selfless. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna get any benefits from doing this. It feels like it's gonna be condensed version of a lot of advices just being bombarded. Because it is a fun game, I would say, in the end. Of what are the most important things that I've learned that would lessen the amount of mistakes I make in life. In my case, let's just say if I was half my age, what I would tell to myself before I even finish school. So, not this young, but rather an age where I would understand what the advice is trying to tell me in the first place. And I would be able to act upon it. Right? It's not my parents making decisions, but me now. One of the biggest mistakes that I've done, the ultimate miscalculation, is going to UK and pretending that I will stay there forever. Right? But at the same time, I didn't know that I was able to go back. I thought I was leaving something that was collapsing anyways. I was able to find jobs in UK because that's what my dad was able to do. That's pretty crazy. My parents were able to earn money. I'll give them that. They were able to survive. But they never ever gave me the correct advice of what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to look into the future? How am I supposed to make the correct decisions? Stay, hold a job, don't pay rent, go back home. At some point, just collect the fucking bag. I don't even really have to buy anything special because it's hard to return that shit to actual home where I don't have to pay rent. You know, that was all of a sudden the world changed. And obviously there's not even correct advice that would slap me in the face and tell me what exactly I have to do, so I I, I can only do it as a theory. But at the same time, I do recognize that I had shitty parents. If I had to parent myself, of course I'm able to give that advice. So, 5K, 10K, returning home with that would be setting me up basically for the rest of my life in a way. Not only that, my friends would have supplied me another job, which was reasonable to keep for as long as possible, but I don't know, there was some shakiness to it, right? Next, after I come back home, I find a lot of disrespectful people attached to my kind of my home, basically rotting away, termites, but human form. I was supposed to eradicate that shit as quickly as possible, without any hesitation or self-doubt, basically. So, no to termites, boys. Don't allow any outsiders. Most people don't have good intentions. Fuck those guys. You just have to fucking make your life as straightforward as possible. Unless you have semi-real friends that you can trust to do something that does not involve you sacrificing too much, okay? That is still straightforward. If you allow other people in your home, even your friends can become supervillains and steal shit. Like, it's crazy, dude. I will never understand, but termites and demons exist, so here you have it. Gotta be more careful. I would have definitely slapped my face and improved hygiene. But one big part of hygiene is exercise. That is part of hygiene. Sorry about that. If you ever wanted to start learning the hygiene, you just have to exercise. And I would slap my younger self, like, you will have much less acne if you just clean your fucking hands. If you get into this, like, rhythm of cleaning hands and face, it's really helpful. And then, like, cleaning socks is not a big deal. It's something you kind of have to do. Cleaning underwear, whatever, right? Washing it. It's actually, it's quite intense. I'm not gonna lie. It's quite intense, and it doesn't stop there. So you exercise every part of the body, including mouth, if not, most importantly, mouth, or eyes, or back. The next thing is very obvious. There should be no doubt in my mind that stand-up PC is superior to sit-down PC. However, it will sabotage my ability to do programming to some extent. Maybe for a short period of time. Not even that long time. It will feel a lot more complicated. Because you can just sit back on your computer and do whatever you want. But now you have to actually consciously stand up to do work. And it's like, shit, now it's double as hard. And that's the whole fucking point. That's right. It is double as hard. But you can, these are two separate things that you have to learn to balance, basically. So it's completely possible. Just because it feels harder, it's still within your capacity to balance and get more out of this thing. Maybe even much more. Because you get to rest faster. You get better quality of sleep when you stand up, when you are semi-active and not just, crumpled in your chair. Note to this. Body can collapse. Body collapse is real. Yes, these mistakes have cost me some amount of value, unfortunately. And I cannot attribute these mistakes to, my fault, because I had to learn through it. I had to learn from fucking scratch. Having shitty parents fucking sucks. But the only thing I can get out of this is that I'm not gonna break these principles. I didn't receive these principles. I was punched by them. I was violated by them. I will never forget that shit. So yeah, you have to run away from extraction, from slavery, which is rent. And you have to defeat all the termites that are trying to destroy your home. Don't let them fucking do that. You have to protect your home, most importantly. And you must have it. If you cannot afford somewhere in the West a house, you can probably afford one in the East. So get to it. Own something that looks like a fucking home. I swear that's the most valuable thing. There's no amount of money that you can earn that cannot be stolen from you. Unfortunate. So when you going out of your way to sell your labor to other countries because they pay more, well, sell that labor, do your thing, but go back eventually. But it's good to do it uninterrupted, like 3 years uninterrupted, no vacations, nothing, just focus on that shit. And don't burn out. If you have ability to lower the amount of hours you're working, it's perfectly fine to do that. I gained that opportunity. I was very happy with it. I was working 24 hours a week or whatever. That was cool. Just 2 days a week. That was cool. 4 days a week is fucking disgusting. Anyone who works even more than that, like, what are you doing? What the fuck are you? You better be self-employed. Now, I don't know what advice I have to give to myself to not do shitty jobs, but I really don't have to do shitty jobs. And most of the shitty jobs come from the idea that you have to take a bus to the shitty job. Because that shit costs you at least 1 hour out of those 12 hours that you're working, or 7 hours that you're working. Like, it is nasty. A bus ride is gonna steal so much of your money. So it's better to poke local businesses as much as possible to find a job. I even went into just a corner shop just to be approached of like, oh, you know something about computers. You should go around and ask for a job. Like, there's plenty of places to ask, and I'm like, I'm too shy. I don't do that shit. But yeah, sure. See, I could have had even crazier parents that would just push me forward to advertise myself as if I have skills. I don't know. I'm a programmer. I have zero skills, you know? Unless I actually start doing something. Then it snowballs. But otherwise, nah, bro. I did not had courage for any of that shit. In fact, my personality has no courage. And I would say to myself, you won't find any courage. Ever. There's no reason to worry about it. The world is pretty forgiving. You don't have to go insane. You know, if I try to search courage within me, I would go insane. And I went insane. There's no reason to go insane. Do your thing, focus on your thing, and your thing is graphics. All right? People are frustrated about graphics. You can do it. You can figure out a better way to do graphics. You can fix a lot of stuff. You can make breakthroughs in graphics. I specifically like this post because it looks so fucking cool. The art form.
Art and have always wondered how to make the jump to 3D? Well, here's something I think you might like. Crocodile 3D is a tile-based 3D modeling editor that lets you transform your flat pixel art tiles into incredible 3D scenes, models, and much more. It's made by one dev and has consistently been updated since its original launch
one dev
way back in 2015, and it's a simple tool and in my opinion a great place to start when wanting to bridge the gap between flat art and moving to 3D. It's honestly kind of like playing Minecraft in a way. Now that's probably a stretch, but when you get down to it, you're just building out a 3D space with 16 by 16 tiles to create buildings, scenes, worlds, and so much more. It kind of is that simple, but just because it's simple doesn't mean it's not capable of complex things. Like everything in art, this tool is what you make of it, and it's pretty feature rich if you ask me. Having things like a built-in paint editor to modify or even create tiles on the fly, a draw and edit feature that easily allows you to remove.
So yeah, you show me some of these, and you teach me how to do compute shaders in Unity. I had this path of doing GameMaker, then going into Minecraft, then going into some scripting in Minecraft, right? That's why it's a programming destination. I was doing some JavaScript crazy shit. And then Unity. But the destination doesn't end there. Like my mind might get stuck a little bit and think it's just like, okay, Unity, that's fine. Unity can handle everything. It cannot handle graphics. It has to load shit. And loading sucks. And rendering sucks. Everything sucks about graphics. Alright? So just make your own shit. Because you're not going to have a straightforward path with whatever Unity is providing. In fact, you will be extremely frustrated of whatever Unity is providing. Even the 2D stuff that's going to come out is not going to be good. You will have to scrap features to make it good. But, by all means, first start with 2D, and then maybe do 3D afterwards. There's no reason to skip 2D, alright? We enjoy card games, that's a thing. And we have to visit this little branch before we go into 3D. You know, and the note is no one deserves to be suffocated by polygons. That is so disgusting. What is happening to human beings? Graphics might look good, but it comes in a cost of complexity, and that cost is insane. Why would anyone pay a price like that when Minecraft exists? Yes, some people dare to laugh at Minecraft. They might be blind. Let's pray for them. They might just be blind, not understanding that Minecraft is an interactive surface versus any other game that's not really interactive. You might be able to destroy something here and there, but that's about it. And it might be a special little feature, You can't destroy a house. You can't TNT yourself a cave. You can only play with whatever is given to you, right? Minecraft breaks a lot of rules and simplifies the graphics, and that is the only way forward. So definitely, like, this my path of life, my career path, and I definitely wasted a lot of time thinking about stuff that don't fucking matter. Especially, like, trying to get to that 3D space with other people's engines. That was a terrible idea. Nothing worked. Nothing made sense. It is crazy, but I still made a breakthrough for myself. Because, compute shaders allow you to thread, allow you to split your computer's powers to do multitude of things all at once, and it's a whole next level. Learning that is essential. Multi-threading is essential to programming, and it's quite a fascinating puzzle-solving situation that takes a lot of time to get used to. For 2 years, my 3D adventure stayed dormant, but then I activated my 2D adventure. And it's not just about card games. There was something in between that follows another path of life. So I have two destinations to go to, right? I also have to improve just as a generic human being who sort of is doing this stuff, improving his mind, his logical abilities, problem solving, like very rigorous stuff. That, like, I'm actually trying to solve a real problem that exists in the world. That will boost my esteem, but I have to spend my esteem somewhere, right? So now we're going to talk about social media path. The path of a programmer that I chose. Now, who the fuck knows, man? Where else do you go from here? What is going to happen next? Holy shit, do we not know? I can only talk about stuff that already happened. So I made Influence Tracker. That's a 2D environment of buttons. Very simple. You pick it up, you drag them around. Super cool. And again, I would make another push to myself of, like, just do the visual version of that. Trust me, it's way better than fucking fiddling around with Unity bullshit. Whatever Unity provides with editors, like, come on, don't touch that shit. Just let it be a project. Let it be running on your computer seamlessly all the time, separately, visually appealing, right? It's able to manage your files. It's able to drop the background eventually. It's going to evolve past the editor many times. And you will discover that, like, you can make games. Cool, right? Because 2D environment provides just as much of a game-making experience as 3D environment. Maybe even better game-making experience. At least for puzzle-minded people. 3D experiences are more like immersive experiences, right? That's an interesting distinction. Now, if I had everything done correctly, of course my life would be better. of course I would have achieved more, and I would be in less pain. Like, there were certain days ruined by just tooth pain. But I would also sit myself down and talk about noise and how it's the start of everything evil is noise. Anything that you know on the market that exists, it's worth trying it. Noise cancellation, you gotta fucking try it. Right now in my ears, there's noise cancellation headphones, or rather earplugs, and they seem to work. Even when I press a keyboard key, it sounds different. The bass is removed, and that is essential. The bass is the most uncomfortable, soul-sucking sound that you may not even know where it's fucking coming from. Today, I had to switch to noise cancellation because holy shit, I'm hearing stupid shit. Demons are taking over, and they start with noise, and they potentially never let go of this one thing. They care about it so much. Every fucking biker exists only because of a fucking noise they can make. They wouldn't even give a fuck, man. Only because they can annoy other people. Children wouldn't scream unless they wanted to tap into demon powers, right? That's their thing. They just got to do that thing to threaten parents, basically, for doing stupid shit. Noise is it. Noise is the start of evil. And by all means, learn everything about it as quickly as possible and fortify yourself the moment something is fucking going on, right? You're not gonna be compensated for this shit, but at least policemen who come into your property, anyone who fucking cares, will get to see what you're up to, right? That you are defending yourself as best as you can, and it might still not work. It might still not work, but it's best to fucking put that effort in there. Essentially, your wall's gonna be thick, my boy. Now, I will have to say a harsh truth. Not neither the mom nor dad, they don't give a fuck about you. I'm sorry, bro. Forget about that shit. They're children. They're lower level than you are. They will make more problems than solutions, unfortunately. The only good part is that can amplify your ability to get a job, and mom can amplify your ability to just stay at home. Like, stay safe until you feel like you're ready for adventure or whatever. But it might still not be enough. You know, it might still just be very specific locations, so who knows. Now, it doesn't stop there. The cruelty of the world is exponential almost. The more you fucking voice your opinions and the less you are enslaved, the more people will hate you. And you will never wrap your head around of how many haters can you possibly encounter. Everyone hates you and your opinions because they can believe in whatever the fuck they want. They can find any belief and hold on to it. And whatever you believe is different, is wrong for them. You don't have enough time to test your belief. So you can end up fighting the world every day of the week, but that's not relevant. Learn how to ban the world, and you'll be better off than trying to find some kind of a brain cell laying around where it doesn't exist. People don't care. People have such a low capacity to care that it doesn't matter. It's completely irrelevant. The internet world, especially, is untamed land. Women don't run around here doing anything valuable. Women usually are supposed to be the ones that like make you feel safe, right? It's like, oh, you have the ultimate partner or whatever, but you're not gonna find a partner in the internet, so you're not gonna be safe. Don't worry about that. Internet is a dark and dangerous place. But so is the rest of the world. The rest of the open world is also a disgusting place, but you shouldn't be scared of it necessarily. But you also should not be visiting it too often either, because it is scary. And the world can actually come to you, come crawling to you. The termites can find their way in and burrow next to you if they cannot take over your specific place. They will come next to you. All right, the demons will still be behind walls. Just to remind you that the world is motherfucking ugly, whether it's internet or not internet. The touching grass is not a magical fucking act, it's actually mental illness. And touching grass, it is a special time where you might want to visit another location and clean that shit up, cut some grass, pick some free apples because everything is going to become much more expensive suddenly. Given that, also cooking is the most essential thing to learn besides hygiene, right? So let's just like copy paste essential. Cooking, yes. And I still neglect this shit. But it's not difficult to drag my mom into doing cooking. So I don't have to do it necessarily. Just encourage it, right? And an air fryer is a necessary life changer. Without it, it kind of fucking sucks. Not having it, it sucks. Alright? I am now fully dependent and it opens up 50% more types of foods that I can eat. And potentially 30% more ways to prepare the said food that I already have. Or I'll already tend to make it better. Then you have the ice cream tea or ice cream jam. So my recipe just to dump some ice cream, some jam, some milk, and that's your drink for the rest of your fucking life. Because it's that good. The only thing it's missing is carbonation, and you must get it from other sources. I'm sorry. This one drink can't do everything. But yeah, best drink ever. That you can do all by yourself. Does that save anything? Absolutely. It saves sanity because when you're drinking lower quality drinks, it feels like shit. And honestly, this is a life changer again. Where are we right now? We're in the middle of the woody right now. We're in the middle of the woods. So let's talk about the other side of things, the media side of things. All right. So I immediately grabbed YouTube. That's pretty simple. That shit is around since the dawn of my independent thinking, right? We have YouTubes. That's correct. Now, of course, time travel advice, but like the YouTube's culture is gonna fall apart. All right, it's always brittle, and always there's an opening for you personally, right? So you have to actually care about the you part because you never know when you have to take the responsibility when you are given the responsibility. When you're starting to accumulate responsibility, when you're seeing something you can actually do for the platform to push it into a better circumstance. And again, I know what it is. I know chasing YouTube rewinds is that one thing that must be done. Like, someone has to do it, and someone has to do it very, very well. And no, I don't have to worry about editing my videos ever. It's all good faith. Nothing changed. Even YouTube Rewind won't feel like editing because it's just gonna be images, right? It's just gonna be like a comic book. Make it simple. Don't push yourself too fucking hard. I pushed myself hard on YouTube Rewind, and the real failure was failure on top of a lot of effort put into something that just is not happening. It's not manifesting. Until I have the esteem of 3D engineer, I cannot do crazy visuals for YouTube Rewind. Forget about it. All right. See, the biggest art is the thumbnail. In the end, that shit works, right? That shit I can do some good stuff with that. I can craft thumbnails, and I have to do it very often as I upload, right? Thumbnail is a big part of that. To some extent, I was shy for a very long time to not even put up a thumbnail. I didn't give a fuck, but it's quite important to do that. In fact, this is just like a conjoined thing. Like, I don't have to do editing, but I have to do thumbnails. That's the whole thing. That's the whole YouTube Rewind formula at that moment. Just making a bunch of thumbnails, stitching them together into a story. Is that it? That's my entire social media presence. Well, I obviously would tell myself it's like, new channel, that's fine. It's better. It's better to make a new channel for like gaming separately, like separate your niches basically. Separate channels for everything I'm doing. And I can have experimental channels or like video channels, whatever, right? If I wanted to remind myself how it feels like, just like remember Trackmania, where you race against yourself. That's cool, you know? Channels that do different things perform differently, and you know, they will attract different audience. They will attract different interest. One important branch, it is influence tracker, right? This is where it kind of meets together. It's simply giving a fuck about the platform that I'm in and tracking whatever the most interesting, influential people with most subscribers are doing. Whatever art they creating, it's important to keep an eye on it and not be afraid to fall in love with people you can't quite reach, but they give you free stuff, which is way better than a bunch of fucking women who don't give a fuck about nobody and don't give nothing. You know? They might exist on social media, but that you have to find it. In that sense, celebrity profiles are better than regular women who don't give a fuck, who are not gonna hold conversations, so what's the fucking point? Now the only thing that you have is your social media account that cannot compete with celebrities. Game over. Checkmate, bitch. Now, unfortunately, it's a very depressing checkmate because it disqualifies everyone very quickly. But it is another slap in the face that I have to tell myself, like, well, it's about damn time, my boy, to disqualify these motherfuckers. Every time I try to put trust into women, they don't give me anything valuable. It's just drama. And it's crazy. To this day, I feel that there's something to it. Now, is there some kind of magical next level past this point? Why Why do I not see it? Can I craft it? Can I do something? Do I have to draw women myself? Craft my own women now? I don't know. It's kind of scary because I can be oblivious to like what the future holds, and the future can completely shatter the reality that I've created right now. So unfortunately, I am not completely in control of where things are going. I can only hope that it's going to be a smooth transition, right? That I needed the previous thing to unlock the next thing, and we're doing a good progress. Like right now, I'm in a position where I'm looking for brighter days, for days that fucking make sense, where people have defeated their demons, because demons are everywhere. End of the world is a real thing. Apocalypse is a real thing. Demons are real. Evil people are real, obviously. Criminals are real. They will do crazy shit, you know? So I have to be equipped to survive the damn apocalypse as best as I can. There's still 2 more years, by the way, from this point forward. And again, all this unity simulations of people coming together to protest whatever they care about. I'm sorry, you guys. That's not the end of the story. You will still have to work together through all this bullshit. Now, funny thing is, I don't believe in other people's advice since day one for some reason. They always break down a lot faster than I can even consider other people's advice. One advice is important. It's like hot water. Drinking warm water is better. And that's, I think I picked up very quickly afterwards. But I never went into like cold water territory anyways. But it's just like, notice that shit, that like cold things, eating cold things or dry things, like that's disgusting. Don't do that. Don't do disgusting things. Make life easy for you. Whatever feels easy is the correct thing. Easy means following your feelings correctly, not pushing yourself too hard, and definitely responding to pain as a failure of something. If I see that something is wrong and I don't like a card game that exists, yes, I can make my own version of card game. That's gonna be way better. And I shouldn't be shying away from just doing it, you know, while I still can. Right now, I'm being overwhelmed by noise, stress, all kinds of nonsense. I'm still was getting used to like stand up PC setup. Everything is delayed for me. Everything sucks. When I could have had all this time, right? Mastering things that truly fucking matter. One thing that is extremely controversial, but I will have to say to myself, friends don't exist, bro. Have them, bro. But you have to like know that the future does not have many friends. Most of these relationships, for mysterious reasons, are doomed to fall apart. Even my classmates came together just to fall apart, not to come together. What? What's wrong? Where's the problem? What's happening right now? Everything is falling apart. Friendships, most likely to fall. I have nothing, bro. There is no loyalty in any direction I look at. Everything is burned down. And it's just mind boggling to me. But knowing that, maybe you will stop looking at other people as a potential friend, a potential connection. None of that shit matters. All that's gonna pass, and they will turn into betrayal experience nothing serious. They will just betray. They will just run away. That's what people do. The pieces of shit every single time when it comes to relationships. That's that thing they sacrifice the most. Maybe it's tough right now. Maybe mental illness makes people run non-stop. Keep looking forward, not looking back. Maybe it's hard to stabilize life right now. Who the fuck knows? But expecting this is an absolute nightmare. And again, I don't have an explanation for that. I only have the reality that I have manifested. Nothing is really falling apart because I don't have friends. I should have thought about it as if I never gonna have friends. So I have to figure my life out in those conditions right now. You better remember that you can buy things from Amazon. For fuck's sake. You can do that. Yes, German Amazon. Not directly, you won't find anything closer than that that's worth keeping an eye out. But that should offer some pretty good stuff. Browse foods, browse items. Maybe 3D printer is a little bit overhyped and not actually necessary. Magnets, just some pieces of plastic. You can buy whatever the fuck you want. Stickers, bro. I might still keep finding things to purchase, but it's important to establish this habit of being ready to do it whenever, right? As early as possible. Again, anything like a bigger purchase is probably not worth it. So it's a 3D printer. I have another printer that burns prints on like pieces of paper without ink, which is cool. But what am I supposed to do with it? You know, like I still don't have any usage to that. So anything big, I have to genuinely need it. Otherwise, it's just gonna take up space. Not that necessary. Fan is pretty important. Ventilation is important. So opening the window is important. If I don't fucking open the window, I will suffocate. I will have problems. COVID, absolutely. COVID is a nice little simulation of people being inside closed window areas. Mm. I don't know how I survived in regulated heat without opening window. I don't know what the fuck was I doing, bro. I literally forgot half of my life at this point. Again, there were so many close calls when I felt like, yeah, we're gonna be friends, but they just vanish. Or they stick around for long enough to vanish anyways, or something bad can happen, right? At any moment. Friendships are brittle and you gotta let them fall apart. It is what it is. The best friendships are probably within the media, social media section. That's much better, more important stuff to chase. And this is kind of where most stuff is going to come from as well. Even though I kept one school friend for a very long time, and he's doing fine. So it made sense. Alright, I have to talk about more stuff, but now I'm running out of space. No problemo. We can just do this. Resize. I would tell to myself that whatever I'm working on right now is backgrounds. Be very careful with that shit. I don't even know if I can resize it. I can't. I don't even know what to do now. I guess. Can I actually pull it off? Oh yeah, I can merge. And now it's not a background? I don't know what's going on. What about shaving? Oh my god. And cutting hair. Apparently, everything can be done with scissors. And that's it. End of story. Stop talking. Don't talk about me with that. You can cut everything with scissors. And you don't really have to cut your hair that much either. It's not that complicated, bro. It's not supposed to get into your eyes and that's it. If people want to talk about your long hair, if something is wrong with them, they will tell you about it, you know? It's nice to know that something is wrong with them. After all, they're not inviting you to be their friend. They're just commenting about your hair, which is like the dumbest fucking thing ever. Or are bullies somehow. During the apocalypse, you will constantly see that the worst is over. After a couple of years, the worst is over. The COVID is over. The Russian war has stalled, basically. The worst is over. And potentially bad things were happening because they had to happen. Right? But all of it is real. Essentially, it breaks out. All the signs are real. So doing these like end times, the apocalypse is like, there's going to be a bad story and a good story. Bad thing is going to happen and then a good thing is going to happen. Or so to speak, there's going to be an attack and then a resistance will be applied. Essentially. People don't sleep on that shit. They are resisting, they're fighting back, they're pushing forward across time and space. They're not losing this. So the most obvious thing that I felt from the very beginning is that it's important to look forwards into the future, which will cease to attack. You know, people want to be criminals currently, but it's a special time of, special decade, basically, where people have nothing better to do but to go max pain for some reason. Unfortunately, money is important, and as much as it pains me to recognize that, but it's kind of the most important thing. The most important thing that puts life together. No need to sell your soul over it, but it's very important to have this shit. I've made an episode about this before, but reducing stress is kind of nice thing to do. The winner of drama is the one who finishes the drama, who makes it run its course faster. Because during the drama, everyone is stressed out. Everyone is at war with each other and with themselves. Everyone is getting drained their energy. When potentially it shouldn't be that way. It's quite important to condemn people who are causing stress, right? Just calling them rage baiters, not exactly the solution anymore. Onision was right. No drama is a pretty good fucking rule for Discord. Alright, and that's it. Very simple. You can really make it that simple, and I appreciate that. There's a lot of bullshit things, and mental illness can be as internal as external. Mass hysteria can cause problems. Neglect can cause problems. Like single mother can be a mental illness of society. It is how it is. But there's a lot of reasons for good people to not hurt themselves by blaming themselves, internalizing and accepting mental illness. I think there's more to it. It does feel like there's
tiles into your
natural
3D space, export and
order of
import, modify
things.
UVs, different
Unfortunately, Evil exists. The order in your life is not going to change much unless people step in and willingly allow it to happen. Or it's natural for that to be happening in the first place, right? That you are activated. I'm personally, as a thinker, I can't do much in capitalism. I can mostly just protect myself, right? That should be my highest priority in the first place. But yeah, evil and fear exist, and technically the roles change every now and then of what's supposed to be happening in the world right now. You should probably not act as like a offensive figure. You should go defensively, and anyone who's still acting offensively becomes the embodiment of COVID, the embodiment of Russian aggression, the embodiment of migrants and allowance of migrants, and God knows what's going to happen to America. All right? All of this shit, all of this bad stuff we all see is because we're all sitting on our asses and observing how there's still offensive people when there shouldn't be. You know, there's still leftovers from the last time. I feel like people overlook this period for a period that already happened. Because this period wasn't fucking innocent. It was, one of those announced end of the worlds of Mayan calendars. Someone fucking crafted this whole Mayan calendar story. I feel everything is fake about it. Like, literally everything. And then it's just like it aligns perfectly with the end of the 2012 or something. Really? So for 8 years, we're gonna do what exactly? Ah, interesting. And technically, the start of 2012, I believe that was an interesting period, to say the least. For me, I finished school. For me, everything was aligned. Kind of like I finished school 2013. Not exactly aligned, but it was me stepping into the great unknown alongside with everyone else. There was encouragement for adventure. You had to go on the offense to find cool shit, and it was rewarding to do so. That was quite fascinating to me. How we're all in this like dance together. We're all doing the same thing together, in a way. Alright, so that kind of concludes the storyline of what I would try to inject myself as knowledge. What kind of letter I would send to myself. There's definitely just more stuff I will add just because I have 3 more minutes. Yeah, it's important to know that fear and stress corrupts a lot of decision making that we do. And again, right now it's natural to be defensive because holy shit, will the wind tornado will take you away. You have to hold on to what you have right now because it's precious. Anyways, it's quite ironic as well. It's just like end of the world. It's like, what are you talking about? Technically, it's true. This kind of leaves a mystery. I don't even know. It is important to flourish any social connections. I'm still not knowledgeable of that, but that's like extra important. But at the same time, you cannot be nice to everyone. If they have a gambling addiction, it's like that's quite icky sticky situation. You at least know not to trust that person financially. In a way, it's true, friends come and go, but it is important to get as best of a time spent, right? It is important to build confidence, proper amount of confidence. And sometimes you can have confidence when you fail things. because you can't keep up. Like, you're being asked for too much. My best job is that the one that didn't demand too much from me, that it was possible to do, and I was able to do for years and years. That was the best job, hands down. And every other job was fake. This is the funny thing. Perhaps women are also fake and they don't exist. That's why I made a conclusion. Because even if you get the fucking job, some of them are fake. I had 2 real jobs, it feels like. The ones that I kept for a decent amount of time. Other jobs are scams. They try to fucking squeeze you, basically. You can kind of keep that in mind, because anytime you bump into bitter people in your workplaces, that's a really bad deal. Maybe I had 3 real jobs and I was already in like low mental state, so I lost one. I don't know. It's hard to tell because I had to keep that job for a certain amount of time, and I was never really told what to do, which is like the toughest position ever, dude. Like, you have to learn everything yourself and be in the right fucking mindset, but it was 50-50. So technically there were just as many fake jobs as real ones. And fake ones, it's not because they're easy, it's because they're extra hard. What else would evil do if not just manifest terrible things? Wouldn't it? Exploitation, shit like that. These are horrible things. It is important to pick up the clues, but at the same time, just allow yourself to fail. If failure happens, you get kicked out. That's potentially a good deal. Just like if a relationship falls apart, if it happens naturally, that's fine, dude. Now, one seemingly fake job, I don't know if it was fake or not, but it was definitely tough. It paid extra though for my time, so it valued me a little bit better, but I don't know, man. If you are exhausted after a day of work, I mean, that's a problem. Your body will have to recover for extra amount of time. Everything has to be calculated. I didn't even bother searching for a job that's like kind of my caliber. It's not important for me. I'm doing my own thing. I just need the money. Grab that money real quick, but it's precious. Don't spend it on anything stupid. The other side of your job is to spend it very carefully. Buy the cheapest things. Not order pizza online. What the fuck is that? Don't serve your taste buds and your boss at the same time. You can't afford serving everyone. So, anyways, see you guys next time. This is what I would say to myself, and maybe it resonates to you, because again, I mean, it benefits me quite a bit. Like, there's a lot of insights here. So I don't feel it was selfless after all. Cool. See you guys next time.